What happens when Venus, the goddess of money and love, makes a touch point with Jupiter, lucky Jupiter, Uranus, full of surprises, and Pluto for power and the power of love during the month of October and into early November? We're going to tell you about that, what that means for your sign, sun, moon, and rising, because she's doing all of this hot action in the sky between October the 8th and November the 8th as she moves through the sign of Virgo. And that's a place that she's not so comfortable being. She's very sensible and practical and realistic about love, not fancy and pie in the sky visions of the way it could be, but really looking at what is true and real about love and money stories in your life during this 1 month transit through Virgo. Now we're going to touch down with all of the stories that she makes during her journey through the sign of Virgo. There's more than just her trine to Pluto, her trine to Uranus, and her trine to Jupiter. Those are very exciting stories indeed, but she's also making some other connections, including an opposition to Neptune, and that's also a bit of a challenge. So how this will play out for you is what this video is about, how it may impact you based on your sun sign, your moon sign, and probably most accurate, your rising sign. But of course, listen to all three, and then you'll get the bigger picture. If you're new to my channel, my name is Lori Lothian. I'm using the Western Tropical Zodiac, whole sign houses, and I love the minor asteroids. Indeed, we'll be talking about the Asteroid Echo and the Asteroid Chaos in today's story of the travels of Venus for 1 month through the sign of Virgo. Anybody who's born with their Venus in Virgo, that means you're having your yearly Venus return. She's coming back to the sign that she was in your time of your birth, in fact, even to the degree, and that is your like new birthday chart. Every time she comes back, the Venus rebirth, the Venus return, and it tells you what she's going to be doing in your life over the next few months, indeed the next year. I also want to mention something interesting about this whole time frame before I actually show you the chart and we go through it together. And what I want to mention is this. I hope it didn't cut out. What I want to mention is this. When we think about Venus traveling through the sky, she's going through all signs of the zodiac within a year. However, this time around, she's making contact with planets that haven't been in their places, like Jupiter in the sign of Taurus for 12 years, and Uranus in the sign of Taurus, not seen since 1930s, and Pluto in Capricorn for the first time, well, since 2008. But before that, 250 years ago. So these connections she makes to the slower moving planets are quite important. And you have that Pluto story is very interesting because it was only in the beginning of 2000, it was only in, I think, July or August of 2009 that she began to meet the planet Pluto in a trine, an applying trine to Capricorn from Virgo. And indeed, as she was doing this over the years, it was once a year, sometime usually between July and October. That was the range of the season in which she was able to apply the trine because she never gets too far from the sun, right? And so you want to go back and think about it this way. We all do. This is the last time she's going to do this for 250 more years. So this one last hurrah, like the grand finale of Venus trining Pluto from Virgo to Capricorn, is simply because Pluto's getting the heck out of Pluto, is getting the heck out of Capricorn, leaving and saying sayonara for the next 250 years in January. On the 22nd of January, he leaves for Aquarius for 20 years, except for a small dip September and October of next year, of 2024, but that doesn't last, right? And he doesn't make any contact with Venus in a trine at that time. So I want you to think about how this might be culminating 15 years of Venus, Pluto stories in your life. And I would like to focus a lot on that for the all signs because it's the last finale. So when we're doing the all signs, I'm going to touch very briefly on the Jupiter Uranus narrative, where she's bringing some lucky surprises from her home kingdom of Taurus. And I'm also definitely going to focus a little bit on that, the energy of that trine to Pluto at the very end of all this. And indeed, she's trining Pluto around November 3rd to the 8th with a precision trine on the 6th. And that's also when she's in an opposition to Neptune, which creates a wedge. And we'll be showing you the wedge in the sky. So we're going to start off today by going through the video by showing you the sky. I'm going to give you an image to follow through with me, walk through with me. Oh, that's too funny. That's my Crayola crayon that I write my notes on all over my hand. No, I did not murder. I shouldn't say that word. I did not MURDER someone or myself. But anyway, and we're going to look at the sky together, and then we're going to do the all signs. Any other thoughts I have is fundamentally she's heading for Libra. I just want you to know that, like November the 8th, she's going into her own kingdom, and she's going to try to mop up after Mars, who was with the North Node, and that was a very intense time that you'll hopefully have already gotten the rearview mirror that began in the first week of October with the conjunction of Mars and the South Node. Very intense energies. And she's coming in later then on November 8th to clean up what might have been a very big stock market turbulence, economic turbulence, Federal Reserve news, banking problems, just big stuff going on in the economies and the markets that may be very difficult, turbulent, and downdrafting. And so by the time she comes into the story, November the 8th, and goes into Libra, we may be out of the woods. And I only want to bring this up because when she is in the sign of Virgo, and Libra is next door in one tradition of Hellenistic astrology, she's what's called an aversion. So Mars is causing problems, so to speak, or he's colluding with the tail of the serpent, letting go, excreting what is no longer needed. South node, let go. K2, let go. Mars, cut, end, and sever. Scales of justice, scales of commerce, Libra. And she can't help or hinder. She's like off duty. So think of an aversion as like there's a wall or a partition between her and her home kingdom of Libra. And she's in Virgo, one sign over, and she can't support or recognize or help Mars or do anything to mitigate what could be some serious damage going on in the Libra part of the sky. So, but when she gets there on November 8th, that might be turning around. She'll come in, as I said, mop up a bit and try to figure out how to restore some balance to the topsy-turvy world of her Libra kingdom. All right, so I'm going to show you the sky. We're going to go through this relatively quickly because if you subscribe to my channel, if you're one of my regulars, welcome back. Thank you for being here. Because I'm going to go through some of these aspects individually, especially in my week ahead broadcast that I put out every Monday, and they'll get even a deeper treatment than I can do in this overview video of what happens when Venus moves through the sign of Virgo. So I'm going to move her back because at this point I was just fooling around with the chart, and so I'll bring her all the way back. I hope you guys can see that. All the way back to the beginning of the story on October the 8th, around 9:30 p.m. in Eastern Canada. It's just wherever you live, adjust for your time zone. But just know that approximately at some point on October 8th in Australia, it'd be October 9th, for example, we see that Venus is basically has moved into Virgo, and she's getting ready. She's already been waiting to oppose Saturn. Now, I'm not going to do a lot on this one today. I'm going to do a separate video perhaps, or next week's video for the all signs week ahead. But I'll say it this way. When Venus is opposite Saturn, it's love is hard. Love is difficult. Money is hard. Money is difficult. Constraint, restriction. Okay, we're looking at October 8th in the wake of the Mars South Node conjunction. And I don't know if that's going to be everyone panicking about the markets or the economy, but it's just a general feeling for the collective of something to do with love and money stories, feeling constrained, feeling difficult, and feeling hard, basically. And in your own life, perhaps too, you might feel around that time of October the 8th, 9th, and 10th, you may feel like the same thing in your own life is true. All the way to the 12th of October. Let's go 8 to 12 of October. You're going to be saying to yourself, damn it, this part of my sky, this Virgo part of my real estate is darn difficult. And that's for your Aries rising, as you can see in this chart in front of us. That's your 6th house of work and health routine. So like, I have an Aries sun and moon. I'll probably be thinking October 8th to the 12th because I'm getting ready for a trip and trying to get my all signs videos done. I'll be thinking this is really hard because I want to get the November videos done before my week vacation in Palm Springs. But can I get it done on time? Who knows? I'll be thinking to myself, work is hard. I know I will. So you might be thinking, depends on the Virgo sign, right? Where does Virgo fall in your chart? When we do the all signs, you'll know that more. But obviously you need to know that, right? 12 pie slices of reality, 12 meanings of the sky, your career, your home, your love, your children, your money. So, I have a free PDF, the meanings of the 12 houses PDF. I created it. It's in my description box. It's a free download. Go get it, because then you can have that little document handy and you'll go, oh, look, Virgo, I have 12 pie slice regions in my whole sign house. I have a free tutorial how to cast your chart in whole sign houses. Go check that out for free as well. And then you go, okay, here's the meaning of the house that this is all happening. So go figure out the meaning of your Virgo house in your whole sign, not Placidus natal chart. Okay, moving on. We all get this love is hard, money is hard feeling, and it can be specific to the Virgo part of your sky that's going on October the 8th until the 12th. And as we move forward, watch what Venus is up to, okay? Just keep her eye on the ball. She looks like that. She's moving forward. And she's taking her sweet ass time. And the first thing she's going to start to do of any note is form a sextile after love is hard to the Vestal flame of sacred devotion, which is very active on the moon, the full moon in Aries. There was a request by the sky to figure out what's worth your devotional energies over the next 6 months. And Venus is making a touch point to that 6-degree spot that squared the full moon in Aries on the 29th of September. So it's kind of tying into a longer story that was about that lunation. But also, you can see there's a little star beside the Vestal flame of what you're going to devote yourself to, what's worth your perseverance and sacred duty, and that is chaos. Chaos has been sitting here for a while, and indeed, if I take you back again, just a little smidgen, you'll see that when she's doing love is hard, money is hard, there's also a sextile to Asteroid Chaos. So we get a little chaotic energy going on in the sky at the same time. So we keep going on forward into the sky, and chaos. It's just what it sounds like. Disruption, unpredictability, seemingly random disruptive events ongoing in the collective or in your own life. But that's not where we're going to focus on the all signs, because it's just a short and very light transit. It's a sextile. It may even go unnoticed by you. Now, you can see here that when we move forward to around the 17th of the month, we're getting ready to see a connection to Jupiter. And that's because Jupiter retrograding at 12 degrees of Taurus, and he's been in Taurus now since the middle of May this year until the 3rd week of May next year. And that's a once every 12-year story. So as she's in this position from Virgo, she can form an earth trine to him. It is an inferior trine. She's looking back over her shoulder at him. She's already been through the territory of Taurus, and actually looks back over her shoulder and tosses him some kisses, some sweet love, some sweet nothings. There's a thing about Venus and Virgo. She's sensible, practical. Sometimes she's really realistic about love. It's not that divine, exalted, holy love that comes when she's exalted in Pisces. Rather, she's in her state of fall here. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Some of the most famous, successful artists, singers, and songwriters that I've ever known or known of have a Venus and Virgo. It's really good for precision art and very sensible and practical love. But on the other hand, just remember, this is not her strongest placement. And she's ruled by Mercury, who cannot witness her because he's in aversion as well, busy in her house, stirring up trouble. Go listen to my Mercury and Libra story. So, but it is still a trine. It is still lucky Jupiter and lucky Venus in a positive lucky trine. Trines are conversations called the nature of Jupiter that do bring flow, ease, luck, and opportunity. So I want to say, look around the time frame of October 17th through to about the 25th for some opportunity coming from your Taurus chunk of real estate in your 12 pie slices, connecting the dots to your 6th house of real estate in your 12 pie slices. I will cover this in the all signs portion of the reading. So we'll be getting to that. And then there's a follow-up. Then she kind of follows up with Uranus. And that's another story that has a similar vibe. So we'll get to that as well. On the way to her connection with Uranus, she forms a sextile to the goddess of the sickle, the scythe, the harvest. I see in Ceres, everyone's, it's about grain and the harvest and nutrition. It is. But it's also, she's just as good as Mars at taking that, or even Saturn, of taking that harvest symbol and cutting things. So a positive cutting away, a positive releasing and letting go of something in the Scorpio part of your sky, especially with Mars co-present, maybe coming through news and information, Mercury and solar figures, bosses and authority figures. You might be letting go of something going on in your life around the time of October the 26th, alrighty, give or take a day on either side. And then finally, because we're going to do all signs and get into the juicy sky, there's that connection with Uranus. She's going to touch down with Uranus between approximately October 27th and 30th. Surprising opportunity, surprising, exciting, unexpected developments, unexpected to do with your Taurus real estate and your work house here. If you were a Aries rising, I'm giving you the example. Know your chart. All right. Know your chart. And then we come into the part of the sky where I really want to dive into, really in the all signs, that very last grand finale trine. I might be doing a separate whole video on called the grand finale between Venus and Pluto. But there's that trine. It's very beautiful in the sky. It's pretty precise around November the 6th, but you start to feel it between November 3rd and November the 8th. And at the same time, Venus is opposite Neptune just before that with the asteroid Echo. So it's almost like a story. It's one story. It's really a wedge formation between Venus, Neptune, and Echo, and Pluto, forming a wedge here. Maybe I should annotate the wedge, because this is what we're going to do in our all signs story, right? Annotate, then I'll I'll kill it out after. There is the wedge formed right here, like a door stopper. I talk about wedges a lot in this channel. Tension between Venus and Neptune. Neptune and Venus would be delusional love, illusions and false assumptions in love, slippery and manipulative love. Similar those words with money stories, resource stories as well. And yet yet, despite all of that, an echo, where are you in an echo chamber? Where have you felt you've done this all before? Where has love been unrequited? Where has your money stories been unrequited? You put a lot of work into something and nothing comes back to you. So where are love and money stories feeling futile, echo chambery, and unrequited? Well, there's a solution here, and the solution is Pluto. Pluto is saying, I got the power. And, the power of love, right? Pluto and Venus, the power of love. I think we'll do a whole separate video on this one because I love this so much. And this is a positive flow between Venus and Pluto. And technically, it's kind of like a wealth yoga. So it can be a really good financial outcome after a time of echo chamber. Same with love. Now, Venus and Virgo can be an OCD type, very nitpicky about love, very precise oriented, maybe even sometimes obsessive and worried about love stories or money stories for the temperament of somebody born with that. And yet at the same time, you see this Venus-Pluto trine powering up a way out of a dilemma in love and money stories around the part of the sky that represents Capricorn. So in the all signs, we'll really dive into the Capricorn real estate that's really active November the 3rd to the 8th. And we'll touch down on the lucky Jupiter trine as well. So let's do all signs. Let me clear that annotation and we'll get going. And my girlfriend came back from a trip and she and I had dinner last night. And her doggie Milo was in my arms passing away at the vet only a couple of weeks ago. Well, I was taking care of her dog, who's also my dog, by the way. I mean, it's been his mama since he was a puppy, a second mama. We partied hard last night. I didn't mean to party. We're catching up and drank, I don't know, champagne and wine. And so I'm coming to you feeling like I really, really, really am hungover. So bear with me if my brain, I don't even drink that much anymore. I know you guys always laugh at me, but honestly, two women crying over passed away doggy is where I'm coming to you from. So I'm going to stop the share just briefly. And I don't know what happened to my Zoom meeting. Now it gives me these little windows. And I'm going to say to you, don't forget, if you are in the live premiere watching this with me, please like and subscribe. It does help the channel grow. A shout out to a lot of my regulars misbehaving and Crystalline Alchemist and Ace of Spades and Purple Table Tarot and oh my gosh, brain come back online. Jupiter 8. Serge LaBelle, Michael Thrash, and all of you guys. So many of you, Linda Calder, and brain come online. Horse medicine, Sedona Horse Medicine, you're new. Thanks for coming into the chats and connecting with us all. I have a large group of people from around the world who connect on these live premieres with me, and we chat together about the content as it airs. And if you're into that kind of thing, I also, I'm with you. I try to create community here on YouTube, and I also reply to my comments. So if you also want to join me on Patreon, please think about it. Right now, there's a promotion that goes on through the whole month of October, middle of October, and it's come into my Patreon community. Get the rest of the 2023 All Signs videos for free, 12 hours of video content. No longer for sale. If you want to join me, it's still for sale. It's $44, but come join me in Patreon for $5 a month. Get it for free. 2 free courses that I've taught on relationship astrology and Chiron, the key to purpose, are also being gifted to you for free, the replays. And that's more than almost $100 of value for simply trying me out on Patreon. If you don't like it, you can leave. The perks are really cool. You got meetings with me, Zoom calls, classes, and everything else off the YouTube platform, and ad-free and early access. So I'm recording this October 2nd, and Patreon will get this today, and you will get it maybe 4 or 5 days later, if not longer. All right, so you get the idea. All right, so let's get going through the all signs right now. Okay, let's get rolling into the all signs. And we'll talk about those Jupiter trine energies, and we'll talk about that Pluto trine energy and the Uranus trine. We're focusing on the good stuff because, hey, life has been like kind of intense probably by the time we get through some of this Mars South Node stuff in Libra storylines. Okay, I'm trying to hold my notes up so it makes it easy, and hopefully we'll get through this in a timely manner today. So number 1, Aries, Sun, Moon, and rising sign. So here we have it. We have this energy of Venus moving through Virgo, and she's here from the 8th of October to the 8th of November. And as she goes through Virgo, I'm going to focus on the Jupiter and then the Uranus story, as well as Pluto. Moving through the sign of Virgo for you is really all about your health, by the way, and your work routines. And improving all of those, including getting rid of an addiction, especially near the end of the month, and we'll get to that. But as she's going through the sixth house, she flows over to Jupiter, which is a very lucky and opportune thing. Jupiter being retrograde doesn't mean he can't bring the goods. It means he's going back to bring good things from your past that have already been plowed or the soil has already been tilled. So something that is in your past already could come to light around October the 18th to the 25th as she forms that glorious trine at 12 degrees of, at that time, it would be 12 degrees for Jupiter and 12 degrees for Venus of the sign of Taurus and Virgo. So looking for some opportunity, some luck, some financial opportunity, especially, the second house is opportunity come from the house of your finances. When Jupiter's here, he might be very much about excess as well, about things you want to eat, too much ice cream, too much pasta, too much wine, whatever. That's already happening anyway. You'll have to deal with that for the next year. But here he's retrograde. He's going back over some old ground that he had already been territorially checking out since last May, and he brings a past opportunity into the present. So look for some opportunity emerging for financial and work situations, or some good news about your health, and or some good news about a rental or a pet. Those are all very in the sky, October 18th to the 25th, and then a little bit later she follows up on the 27th to the 30th. This is going to be felt all the way through to the 2nd. So October 27th to November 2nd, trining Uranus. And there's a surprise there, Jack in the box in your finances, your earnings, your money, and your work situation, and maybe health. And it's positive. So positive surprises in all of those areas. Then lastly, she begins at the end of the month, closer to November 3rd to the 8th, to get into a opposition to Neptune and Echo and a trine to Pluto. So this is like about some kind of unrequited or inability to, like think of an echo chamber, right? You're not getting the results you want. Your own voice is bouncing back at you because this is the asteroid that can represent that echo quality. Her name is Echo. And unrequited love, unrequited results. And so the unrequited results with Neptune can be about unrequited results in addiction, self-undoing, self-sacrificing habits and patterns where you just lose your way. And Venus is very sensible and practical in Virgo, and she's oriented towards health. So you might be having a big breakthrough here at the end of the month around kicking a bad habit, releasing yourself from some self-undoing, and moving into that flow to Pluto. All the power is up in the top of the sky. It has to do with your visible reputation, maybe someone in power favoring you, or just a sense of powering up in the career and purpose part of the world. And you just don't have time for those bad habits. Now, lastly, it is the 12th house of financial revenue garnered from foreign shores. Neptune can mean foreigners, foreign lands. Neptune can mean internet video applications like TikTok and Instagram and YouTube Reels. And so this can also be a story of the tension between the hard work that you've been doing with those areas and some breaking through energy in the top of the sky with regards to your career. And remember, this is the last time you'll get this one in 250 years. I already said in the beginning that we've had it for 15 years, Mars and Venus and Virgo trining Pluto, and that is done. This is the grand finale. So you might say, in the last 15 years, how I've been trying to power up my career since 2009 and do that through hard work, discipline, and really sensible enjoyment of my career and work stories. All right, Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign. This is Venus trining you from the 5th house, by the way, sending a lot of love back at you because you're holding Jupiter in your house and giving him a show. He's in the driver's seat of your life with you, yet he is retrograde. And there's an opportunity, maybe even from the past, that you tried to create or you tried to generate something good from, and it's coming back in the past, meaning like between May and now. And around October the 18th to the 25th, you can expect some exciting opportunity. Now, the opportunity may come through a child, one of your children, or it could be a pregnancy opportunity, and boom, you're pregnant and you really wanted to have a baby. It could be an opportunity around your entrepreneurial business and creativity. These are 5th house things, as well as a romantic opportunity. And it could be a very nice signature to bring a romantic interest back from the past, especially given she is going to, at the end of the month, be combating or opposing the unrequited love asteroid. So requited love may be percolating for you, that this love story that you gave up on returns. And when it comes to money luck can be had when Venus is in your 5th house of speculation and lottery wins and gaming wins. And so there's that. And Jupiter could bring you some unexpected luck from the past, like you find a lottery ticket under the sofa that was a winning ticket and you just didn't know it was there. Now, she'll also give a little shock and awe and surprise in a positive way, also connected to those fifth house themes. And don't forget, it can be about your kids and not even about you, but you're definitely watching it happen from the house of you. You're the freedom loving, rebellious one with Uranus in your house for the last few years. And basically, whatever you're doing that's lucky and coloring way outside the lines, between October 27th and November 2nd, you're likely to see some exciting results. It's really great if you're an entrepreneur, self-starter, or have your own business, right? Those can really bring up some positive developments, but it's also very restorative in a lot of ways for love stories and bringing some love stories into a place of harmony. And, there's a lot of energy going on in your seventh house with that stellium over there. And so a lot of longer term love stories are looking for reconciliation and healing, or lucky breaks and opportunities as well. Things look kind of positive. Always got to watch out for Mars, however, in the house of relationship, and it'll be there throughout November. And that can be like tension as well. But Venus is trying to soothe it out. Okay. Oh, wait, I almost forgot. And at the end of the month, Pluto. She comes into that trine to Pluto, and she's opposite Neptune Echo. So unrequited love or unrequited results or echo chambers with friendships, with a friend that you wish was your person, with the greater gains from your career that are frustrating you because you're not getting the gain and the success that you wish to have, especially financially. And she's opposing Neptune Echo from the fifth house of that entrepreneurial creative house, and that house of your lover, and the house of your children. And that trine to Pluto makes me think that the last such grand finale trine not seen since they started in 2009. I hope you listened to the beginning of the video. This is the 15th and final version of this, where you've been working with fifth house and ninth house matters when it comes to romance, love, pregnancy, children, and independent entrepreneurial stuff. And Pluto's really saying, let's line this up, the power of love, in a way that's deeply meaningful to you. And this could be a powerful breakthrough in higher education, or powerful leaning in, as Sheryl Sandberg would say, to your higher education, to your court and legal success stories, to your third marriage stories, to your travel to foreign shores stories, and to your father figure stories. Very practically speaking, it could be a really strong engagement with a parental father figure in a positive way that heals something that was unrequited or unresolved between you, for example. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign. So as Venus is moving through Virgo from the 8th of October to November the 8th, you're going to see that the story of your fourth house becomes predominant, and you'll be paying a lot of attention to things that are going on in and around your home. Now, this can be very practical, like redecorating your home, repainting your home, redesigning your home, or having love and joy and fun and parties in the home, and in a practical, realistic way, sensible. And as she's going through this part of your sky, you'll notice that she also is going to make a formation called a trine of luck to Jupiter, who's going back over old retrograde ground in your 12th house. This can look like some positive developments from foreign shores and foreign lands that impact your bottom line at home, your enjoyment of your home, or your prosperity in and from your home. Also, you may also think of this as Venus moving through your fourth house and aligning you in such a way that you can overcome any kind of self-undoing addiction and self-sabotage from some kind of new experience of how you generate practical, nutritious, and healthy results in and from your home. Anything. It can be even how you cook, especially given she's sextiling the Vestal flame of devotion in the house of what you put in your mouth. So I think a lot of you will be forming new dietary styles as well during this time. The trine to Jupiter is very active between October 18th to the 25th. Expect some luck from foreigners, foreign shores, and foreign lands, or opportunity to learn from somebody in a foreign country that helps you create greater enjoyment or peace or success in your home. There also could be some potential lease renegotiations or tenancy renegotiations in her sextile to Ceres this month, and also Mercury, especially around the 26th of October. Maybe like a lease renegotiation, extension, or something like that. Hopefully not an end. And because it's mostly positive stuff in the sky. And then finally, Venus will do the same story, trining Uranus in that 12th house. And that's the 27th to the 30th, or 27th to November 2nd, 27th of October to November 2nd. And that's just like, okay, now there's even some delightful surprises connected to your home life. And anyone who may be a female who lives with you can be involved in this. But also keep in mind the 12th house could be very much that foreign shore and foreign land travel or even residency. Like a sudden opportunity to journey to a foreign country or take up residence in a foreign country for some of you, Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And then lastly, this is the last of 15 times since 2009 that Venus will come into a trine formation to Pluto. Pluto in your 8th house, you'll have to wait 250 years for it to come back. This has been a long journey of Pluto trying to power up your inheritance monies, your estate monies, your legacy wealth monies. Things to do with shared resources with partners, business and love, including alimony, spousal support. You've been going through, and death. Pluto going through the 8th house has brought the death. You are very intimate with death in your life. And as Pluto's going through this part of the chart, he's going to be forming that trine to Venus at the end of the month between the end of the transit between the 3rd of November and the 8th of November, pretty precise around the 6th. But it's also connecting to Neptune across the way on Echo. So where have you had unrequited echo chamber results or experiences in your career and reputation space? No matter what you've done, it always seems to maybe not come back at you in the way you wanted it to, even though you've been doing lots of good things that you're dedicated to from your home. And at this point, you may see the tension is between that career and your home life, and maybe a female in your home at the end of the month. But Pluto's taking the brunt of it to resolve it in a wedge. And he says from the 8th house, we got this. It's about that money or shared resources, financial deals, mortgages, bank loans, credit cards, and things like that, or even inheritance money. Definitely with Venus here, trining Pluto, and this has been going on once a year since 2009. Some of you have come into some financial money from your family of origin. And hopefully this is the last time that this is something that could happen, but it can be how you're managing those monies that make money. Also good for buying and selling real estate, all right? And that really shows up strongly again, November 3rd to the 8th. Or renting a property as well. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign in the sky. Venus is moving through Virgo from the 8th of October to November 8th, and this is going to bring you in touch with third house matters. It's a sibling house, and Venus rules sisterhood. So definitely female siblings as well, especially, can be on your radar during this month. And you may even have an opportunity to travel to visit one of those siblings between October 8th and November 8th, or they would visit you. And if that's the case, there you go. But as she moves through here, she's also forming lots of good energy, sextiling the devotional flame in the house of you. Can you open up a flame of devotion to a cousin, a sibling, or to some person in your neighborhood or situation in your neighborhood, and be perseverant and supportive to those people. Venus moving through your 3rd house as well is asking you in that month of her travels to expect some delightful results that bring you some surprises from the house of the elder sibling, Jupiter in the 11th house. But this is also the house of people who treat you as if they are big brothers and sisters. So allies, benefactors, people who support you, friends with favors, as well as the elder sibling. And so this energy is like some benefits coming from that top of the sky, flowing from there to Venus. There's a very siblings part of the sky active for you guys. It also forms a bit of a generalized feeling of all funneling back to you in a mini grand trine. So you're getting a lot of good support here, maybe from those people in your life. I hope this recording is not staticky, but I'm going to keep going. I just saw my screen flicker. Let me just check that out. Hang on. Oh, looks good. Okay. And what else can I say? Oh, yeah. And then, the thing that happens with this trine to Jupiter retrograde, look for things from the past, friends from the past, allies from the past, people from the past, siblings especially, groups of belonging from the past, to reemerge in positive, lucky ways. And again, it can invite travel opportunities or learning opportunities that are going to benefit you greatly around the 18th to the 25th of October. And then this big October 27th to the November 2nd, surprise, Jack in the Box, trine to Uranus. Your elder sibling, your friend, your ally has a sudden surprise, or you get a sudden boost in your great gains from your career, especially if you're using the online world platforms and websites or those kinds of things, which are third house matters. Finally, at the end of the month, we get to the point where November 3rd to the 8th, there's a Venus opposite Neptune and then trining Pluto. Well, where have you felt this unrequited, unresolved echo chamber in your 9th house? Your 9th house of your higher education, God, religion, spiritual path, court and legal matters, things to do with father figures sometimes. And the 9th house can also be about those foreign travels that you wish to take. Neptune here has been having you travel since 2011 to shores, seashores, and places with water. You've been looking for the beaches, basically. But with the unrequited energy, maybe there's been some frustration, like the pandemic, and you've been feeling like you just want to go away, and things are getting in the way of that travel. But Pluto's breaking through with with a significant partner, like maybe your husband or wife, or maybe a business partner, or maybe a client or ally client who wants to bust out of that, say, travel or learning unrequited vibe. When Venus is opposite Neptune, it's also about, she's sensible and practical, realistic and grounded in Virgo, and she's squaring off with a very dreamy Neptune. So you might be coming down to earth here about what is really needed in your marriage. So you may be having some really interesting developments, but they're positive with the person that you're with, whether it's common law, legal married, or just a long-term relationship. But it seems like it has a positive outcome. Alrighty, then let's move on to the next sign. All right, Leo, sun, moon, and rising sign. It's a time of the transit of Venus in Virgo from October the 8th to November the 8th. And she's very practical and sensible as she navigates your financial house, the second house of money, earnings, possessions, the way money and resources can come to you directly. Usually it's our job. It's also your self-worth and the things you put in your mouth. Now, honestly, she's pretty sensible and healthy in Virgo, but be aware that you could go to some kind of excesses in things that you eat. She loves her pleasures, and she loves her drinks, and she loves her vapes. And so watch for this energy to take you into a place of maybe overdoing some of those things that you eat while she's in the sign of Virgo for that month. Once a year, you deal with this. But also she can up-level your finances in a very sensible, practical, and realistic way, and from a practical Virgo stance, and help you find something positive in your career space, especially. And that's because she's going to form that lucky trine to Jupiter. And I'm saying it's money, career opportunities on steroids coming through from the past. A boss from the past reaches out to you. A situation of employment from the past returns to you. Something you wanted in your current job or employment returns to you as a new offer. So things are coming from the past. Jupiter's retrograde, and it's going to pop into your sky between October the 18th and the 25th. This is a classic boss from the past loves you up in the present, but it has many other possible ways of showing you the goodies. And then she gets excited about this surprising opportunity still connected to money and work and career and reputation, where Uranus pulls out a hat trick of yay. He's also retrograde, October 27th to the November 2nd window of time. And it may be connected to what was going on the 18th to the 25th. It may be two parts of one story, but things just get more exciting and better and better. Now, at the end of this time, I also would like to mention one more thing. There's a lot of energy in Scorpio during this time for you, and that's your fourth house of home and property. And quite possibly, you'll be looking at the opportunity to take somebody out of the house, cut them out, denest a kid or something like that. But I'm bringing it up because she's not able to fully help you, but she does around the 26th of October, Sextile Ceres. And that can be a financial situation in and from your home coming to a termination or an end in order to benefit you financially. Okay. A change in the home, a harvesting or ending in the home that benefits your finances. And it can be like a child leaving the home, for example. Next, or it could be conflict in the home too, but we'll see. And then at the end of the story, Venus will trine Pluto. Again, I mentioned this earlier. I really encourage you always to listen to the beginning of the videos. This started as an active transit in 2009, once a year, every year. Since then, Venus will have been in Virgo in the beginning at the early degrees, now at the late degrees, trining Pluto in your sixth house. These houses 2, 6, and 10 are Artha houses, and they have to do with your money and your career and your finances. So this is a story that really gels for you at this time with Jupiter in the 10th and Uranus up there as well. Exciting for you. Career opportunities are exciting for you since May when Jupiter got here, and will be like, yay you until the end of next May. So this trine to Pluto is like, what is this powerful situation to do with either your health, because of things you eat and Pluto transforming you into wellness, or with your work. So I'm looking at this window of November 3rd to 8th as something to do with some very powerful positive developments in health and work, but also an ability to dispense with that echo chamber, the unrequited feeling around your longer term finances, your treasure chest of your 401k, your savings, your earnings, your RRSP, your, those things that have felt like you haven't been loved back. You've been trying to love it and you've been all kind of confused and deluded. Thank God Saturn's straightening you out now because Neptune had you confused, and you're going to start to see that Pluto says, well, you might be confused about your stock portfolio and your investments and your retirement plan and your banking and your credit cards and your alimony, palimony, but no worries. We're going to fix it all up from the 6th house of the work and livelihood. So do you really care that much about your stock portfolio when you just got, a great deal of money coming through your job, for example? If anybody owes you money, sometimes this can happen with Pluto in the 6th house and a Venus connection, where money from your past can come back to you from somewhere it was owed, especially if it involves career places. Like, there was money from the past and the career story that was never given to you properly, and you get it back. I don't know what that could possibly look like, but there could be some debt relief coming into your chart as well, including inheritance. Okay, I'm just going to take a pause. I'm going to go get a little chocolate to restore myself. Yeah, you just try sharing a bottle of red wine and having a bit of champagne before that, and maybe not having enough food before that. So I'm like, oh guys, I'm with you, but I'm not quite here. I'll be right back. I just need a chocolate hit. Okay, let's continue with the story today. And oh my gosh, that chocolate was so good. There's like a local chocolatier, and it's like really sweet, like delicious. I mean, I don't mean sweet, like dark chocolate, but really lovely, locally crafted chocolate. Let's go. We are in the Virgo story, and my daughter is a Virgo. Yes, my daughter is a Virgo rising. My best friend's a Virgo rising that I had too much wine with last night. I have a lot of these guys in my life. So Virgos, first of all, Venus on October the 8th to November the 8th is moving through the sign of you. It's really good for your health. It's really good for your beauty. It's really good for a new wardrobe, new haircut, makeup. It's just really good for being you and feeling good about yourself. It's your once a year Venus glow up, and you're charming, congenial, and people like you, and you might be feeling more sociable than you normally do and feeling good about being you. You're not just feeling good as you feel a good transit. Although there's some things going on in the sky that are very positive as well this time around. So Venus will come into a trine relationship, flowing in a super positive way to Jupiter. And that's going to be Jupiter retrograding in your 9th house. And this is between October the 18th and the 25th. This opens up a corridor here of goodness between academics, colleges, campuses, universities, father figures, legal and court outcomes, travel and foreign travel opportunities, and religious and spiritual faith. Venus in this relationship to Jupiter can look like a story of really thriving and really finding some positive things happening here. Now, Jupiter's retrograde, so it's like things from the past in those 9th house areas returning to bring some bounty and goodness and luck and opportunity to you. And because Jupiter is in the house of the foreign shores, it can actually come through a foreigner, right, as well. Opportunity from a foreign land or from a foreigner. And for my daughter who's in a university, this is professorial good things going down, campus and college and learning things, for example. But as we move forward, there's some positive surprises too. October the 28th to the 30th, surprise. Actually, October 27th to the November 2nd, to be more precise, with an exact conjunction or aspect on the 30th between Venus and Uranus. Now, Venus-Uranus surprises have been ongoing now since 2019, and that's been disruptive sometimes, but also positive when you've had to make changes that you didn't see coming, unexpected turnarounds or changes in the 9th house. I'm not going to name all the meanings of the 9th house again, so hopefully you listen to the first part. And Uranus here is capable of delivering, though, some breakthroughs. And it could be like a financial breakthrough, because this is a Lakshmi house. If it comes from a father figure, it can be an academic breakthrough, a legal breakthrough, etc. You're receiving the goods as Venus herself, because you are the one who deserves it. Now, later in the month, around November the 3rd to November the 6th, with an epicenter, or November the 8th, with an epicenter on the 6th, Venus will trine Pluto. She started trining Pluto in 2009 and from Virgo, and that's going to end. This is the last finale every year since then, but now no longer. So you may as well like get used to the like figure out what this grand finale is for. Pluto, Venus trines, are going to affect you more, people with sun, moon, and rising closer to 25 degrees of Virgo, obviously, but nonetheless, all Virgos feel this. Like my daughter has a 26 Virgo ascendant, so she's really going to feel this one because that trine is very precise. Now, Venus trining Pluto is the power of love, higher love, holy, good, powerful, juicy love and money. And possibly there's going to be some positive developments around those themes of love and money in a very powerful and lucky way. But because Pluto is also traveling through the house of sexuality and romantic love, this also has a potential to be about that story. And if you're looking at Venus eyeballing Neptune in the 7th house of marriage, and there's some kind of echo chamber here and unrequited results and things aren't going the way you want, and Saturn is making that love story primary relationship hard, then quite possibly you're going to see a turning point that says we're going to break through the love is hard, unrequited, frustrating, and foggy story and make a breakthrough in the house of sexuality, intimacy, and romance. Pluto here can also help you have breakthrough energies around creative projects, entrepreneurial things, especially if it involves reaching an audience or marketplace. No longer is your signal unrequited, but it's coming back home to you in a prosperous, bounteous, entrepreneurial 5th house way. Lastly, your children are Pluto, are the 5th house stories. I don't know, anyone who has kids who's a Virgo, you've been going through the ringer with your kids since 2008, right? And now this is like that Pluto narrative is winding down, and there's something positive going on with one of your kids, and it may be extremely exciting and positive because we're going to end some kind of foggy confusion and unrequited stuff that happens. It could even be that one of your children is going to announce something to you and you're going to find it because of the 3rd house. Venus is connecting to Ceres with Mercury in that 3rd house in a general way. And so emails, phone calls, text messages about and from a child can have very exciting and positive results in this wind down of November 3rd to the 8th. With Mars and Mercury in your 3rd house of travel, as well as Ceres, maybe Venus is trying to pull off a trip, with a romantic trip with the one you love, to a foreign land or to a far off getaway or even a local trip. And if you do, as a Virgo, want to take that trip, between November the 3rd and the 8th is going to bring superior pleasure, romance, and significant results in terms of boosting the connection you have with that person and getting rid of the feeling of the hardship of that Saturn transit, which unfortunately is going to be going through your 7th house of committed love until 2026 February. But in the temporary time frame here, you could have some significant breakthroughs in long-term committed love stories, and maybe through travel. Libra, sun, moon, and rising energy wise, you have this transit of October the 7th, 8th to November the 8th. Venus in Virgo, Venus in the sign that belongs to your 12th house. 12th house stories are very subtle sometimes, but they can also be practically foreign shores, foreign countries, foreigners, revenue and income from those foreign lands, bed pleasures. And Venus does not mind bed pleasures. In Virgo, she's very practical about it. She's not looking for some sacred tantra ceremony. She just wants to get down with it. So, there's a sense for some Libras that's wanting to get really down with their bed pleasures in a practical way during this month. But also because the 12th house is addictions and Venus is the goddess of pleasure, this will be a time of trying to improve and coming to terms with things that you are ingesting that may not be good for you, especially with that Mars and Scorpio transit asking you to cut out and surrender and release things that you are eating or drinking or smoking that you shouldn't be doing. And Ceres is doubling down on that, the goddess of the harvest, but also of endings in your 2nd house. This is a story that Venus is cooperating with. She would like you to no longer do the thing you do that you shouldn't be doing. I think, weed, smoking, vape, cigarettes, any of those kinds of things, foods that aren't good for you. Time to do it, time to quit. In fact, the power of your ability to make that quittage is very precise around October 26, when there's a nice tight sextile to Ceres in the 2nd house and Venus in the 12th. Now, also, with Venus opposite Neptune, with Venus trining Jupiter around the 18th to the 25th of the month, there's a lot of exciting opportunity brewing in the sky around your long-term chunky money stories, the 8th house. And you may definitely look at this as a very auspicious time that could involve themes of inheritances, tax rebates, insurance payouts, good monies coming through the system from your spouse or partner. and maybe even some kind of, because he's going backwards to look at money that was already there, and maybe bring some lucky opportunities with the money you've already had or should have had in the past. So some financial positivity is occurring here. And, we do have an eclipse October 28th that can double down on that, right? So that's a whole other eclipse video. Oh, I do want to say as well that, if you want to look at the idea of Jupiter being like Santa Claus in a chunky money house, this is an inheritance transit, Libras, and it goes all the way through. It keeps on keeping on until the end of May next year. So you're in one of those coming into money transits. Uranus brings some delightful surprises around those monies that don't belong to you directly, that are not a part of your earnings. And there's a possibility some of you are making an earnings change in November anyway, October, November, because of that movement of Mars through Scorpio. And so keep that in mind. Some of you might be changing your earnings direction and changing your job, basically, your career path. I like the idea here that Uranus, I'm sorry with the sounds when I'm tired. So sorry, guys. I normally know how not to do that. Alrighty, so Uranus is going to or offer a surprise, a financial surprise, Jack in the Box surprise, okay? Cracker Jack box prize at the end of the Cracker Jacks box, okay? That's something from the 70s. And that's coming through your sky October 27th to November 2nd. A positive financial surprise is on the way. Get ready, get set, go. Can come from family of origin, dad, mom, legacy wealth, money from the family of origin as well. As we go forward, though, there is a trine from Venus to Pluto, and we're seeing the last one since 2009. Once a year, we've been having this Venus trine Pluto, and now this is the last time you're going to get this. And so Venus is saying, especially if you're a Libra, anywhere, let's say 25 to 29 degrees of Libra, sun, moon, or rising, that Pluto is squaring you, but Venus is softening things out. Major changes, major shifts are going to happen here, to do with property, home, land, and real estate, as well as legacy or family wealth. And this is going to also be involving Venus from the 12th house of backroom deals and negotiations, foreign shores and foreign lands, or just sort of insight you can get from the deep depths of your soul. Possibly a person who could be helping you from a setting that is foreign or foreign shore, or the word international. But it's going to help you level up some kind of unrequited stuff, where your echo chamber has been in the work and health part of your sky, and you've been really dealing with some kind of inability to resolve or to see fruitful results in a way that you want, the echo chamber feeling. And, Venus opposing Neptune in the 6th house could be the unrequited work success, unrequited work satisfaction. And Pluto wants to turn it around from that depth of your ancestral home, your childhood home, the ancestors itself. And maybe for some of you, this is very soul worky. How can you unplug yourself from some kind of ancestral family of origin secrets, or uncover something very deep within your soul that comes from deeper than this lifetime, or deeper than your childhood even, or as deep as your childhood memories. There's definitely a capacity with Uranus to reveal secrets as well. And he could bring surprising family secrets to light this month, but also resolving a lot of tension in your sky, especially around addictive patterns and self-undoing that you may not be yours, but carrying from your ancestral line. And you may be seeing the results mitigated, and you're going to see solutions to addictions, basically, possibly for some of you, because Neptune is in the house. Neptune Venus axis can involve addictive substances and health challenges from that as well. Are you in the live premiere hanging in there with Lori, who's had too much wine last night? Well, if you're still with me, guys, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That really helps the channel grow. I don't have my guest book with me, but you know who you guys are. Thanks for being here. As always, Ellie Taylor and Misbehaving, Stephen the Jupiterian, and I'm using my memory, Balcon 200, Melissa Carey, don't say anymore, Lori. Thanks for being here. All right, so Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. We have the story of Venus moving October the 8th to November the 8th in your 11th house of good spirit. This is where friends live, elder siblings, benefactors, allies, patrons, people want to support you, and the larger groups of belonging that you choose to connect to that are part of your tribe by choice. Groups of belonging can be everything from a book club to your church community. And it's also the greater gains you make from your career. So Venus is here. She'll be here, for those 30 days, and she'll help you, maybe very much because it sextiles the house of you, really connect with some of those friends and groups of belonging that you really enjoy, and it gives you a great sense of satisfaction, and maybe elder sibling as well. And she's going to make some connections here as she's traveling through the sky. One of them is she might really help level up some kind of flame of sacred devotion to some spiritual path early in the month when she sextiles the Vestal flame. And that's really early on in the story. She does oppose Saturn at the very beginning. I'm not covering that as much in this one because it's early on in the ingress, and I'll be doing a whole separate video about that in my week ahead video. But I mean, you're going to come off of a hardship story to do with romantic love or entrepreneurial situations, or even a lack of enjoyment of fun in your life, and you're going to experience that ending, and you're going to come into some kind of, maybe like a feeling like you want to devote yourself to something more meaningful in your life in the beginning of the month, Scorpio. Where's the meaning of life? What's the meaning of your life? That's kind of very active, October 12th to the 18th. And then there's that trine to Jupiter, October 18th to the 25th, and that's exciting, and that's lucky, but it may also be involving your partner. This is your marriage partner, or your significant other or business partner. And Jupiter is bounty and prosperity, and he's retrograde. So money from that person's life that's from the past, or maybe even from legacy wealth or inheritances, can be really appearing in the narrative, because Venus is also a goddess of money. So we have some money stories maybe coming through your partner or through friendship circles or groups. There's a feeling with this Venus as well and Jupiter transit as they trine each other October 18th to the 15th, that you may experience greater career gains by signing legal contracts or agreements that involve your work and maybe a new job, because you have the sun, it's Scorpio season, traveling through the house of you, beginning on the third week of October, and you're going to be in good stead by then to take possession of some new work or career opportunities. I also would say to you that if you want to resolve a legal matter, this is going to be very effective, and you could resolve it in a very positive and friendly and satisfying way that helps you also feel lucky and prosperous. Now, on October the 27th to the 3rd, to November the 2nd, unexpected surprises in and from the one you're with, business and love, marriage, partnerships, or some client or audience person. And this jolt of surprise is positive, and it benefits you in 3rd house, 11th house matters, as well as 7th house matters. It can be some exciting opportunities coming through a friend or a friendship, especially if that person is Venusian, which means female. And possibly you might even have some experience here of exciting, radically exciting opportunities around joining a group, like someone wants to ask you to belong to their group, and you're like totally intrigued, excited, and taking them up on it. When Venus is in the 11th house, it draws you to socialize more, especially with groups of friends that you like, and you're going to be very social in this month. And again, that socialization can bring opportunity and luck in all kinds of things. If you're looking for a job or a new career path, you could just find out about it through socializing with groups of people. So don't be afraid to go out and do things during this month of October 8th to November 8th that can really be beneficial for you. Now we finish up with that trine to Pluto. We've been seeing those trines to Pluto from Venus and Virgo since 2009. This is the last one for 250 odd years. So Venus is saying powerful developments to do with siblings, especially younger. Powerful developments to do with your social groups and your 3rd house of the neighborhood, or your 3rd house of journeys and trips. Now, some of you may have an opportunity come upon you to travel, coming through friendship circles at the end of this time frame, November 3rd to the 8th. And yet you're also dealing with this unrequited love, not love, but unrequited results, Neptune, echo chamber in your 5th house of pregnancy, children, romantic love, entrepreneurial endeavors, creative projects. I'll use my son as an example because I like to use people I know, right? He's an artist, musician, songwriter, genius, and he's got a day job selling stuff, right? And maybe he's been feeling with Neptune, which rules music, that this has been frustrating and unresolved, unrequited, putting echo chamber stuff on TikTok and not getting the results he wants. Venus, the goddess of art herself, is squaring off with this unrequited story. And in a trine to Pluto, this could look like a breakthrough online, like online world, TikTok belongs to the third house. Neptune belongs to TikTok too, because it's videography. So that's an example of a big, powerful breakthrough. And it's only available now. Like, it's the last time it's going to happen. And if you're a Scorpio sun, moon, or rising, let's say, in the last 10 degrees of Scorpio, you really get a lot of benefit from this. It's really wonderful for you. And Mars is in great dignity in the house of you as this thing begins to progress at the end of this October into November. And that gives you a lot of really good strength. You are Martian. You are successful driving forward with ambition and motivation in what you wish to do passionately in this life and in this time frame. So also, if you're into book publishing, because the Vestal flame is in the house of publications, this is also an awesome month for getting successful results in the word publications, including agents. Okay. And lastly, and when I say month, I mean anytime between the 7th of October and November the 8th. Lastly, I just say Pluto in the third house, you could finally make a terminus around the neighborhood. You could decide that you want to change your neighborhood or move your neighborhood or get out of this neighborhood to something that's going to have more fun and more social environment. And there could be some changing of the guard of neighborhood in the first week of November. If I look like I'm scratching myself, it's because I am. I'm so itchy. All right, here is Neptune, sun, moon, and rising sign. So Neptune, oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. Alrighty, so Venus is moving through the sign of Virgo, which happens to be your career and reputation space at 10th house. And she's there October 7th to November the 8th, October the 8th to November the 8th, I should say. And because she's up here, you're going to be more visibly successful. Quite often this favors you in terms of career opportunities, raises or promotions, advancements and stuff like that. And Jupiter, the Lord of your sky, is in your sixth house, the sixth house of work. And so you get a lot of work and career success narratives pulling through, reputation, career success, work success during this 30 days of Venus in Virgo. Then there's exciting times ahead because she comes into that sextile, that trine to Jupiter. And that's October the 18th to the 25th. It's around 12 degrees of the sign of Virgo and the sign of Taurus. And there's these energies really, especially if you're a Sag, sun, moon, or rising in the first 5 to 15 degrees of Sagittarius, you're really going to benefit from some kind of career perk here. And it can really be about a new job, a job opportunity, but Jupiter's retrograde. So there's some connection to the past here and something's bounding into opportunity land for you. And maybe you're going to hear from an old boss. Maybe you're going to hear from an old colleague or coworker, but because it's Jupiter, it's somebody with some authority or somebody with some power. It's really a positive career and money and up level financially as well. And we'll get to that in a minute. There's a surprise around this, a little exhilaration, unexpected as well, between October 27th and November 2nd. And it's like, because of Uranus with Jupiter, the whole thing has an element of the unexpected, even the October the 18th to 25th. So we're just going to say unexpected, October 18th to the November 2nd, boundless opportunities around career, reputation, work, and job, and also with health if you need that, but also more like the work axis is highly activated. And with Juno up there with Venus, it means contracts or agreements. So signing documents, contracts, and agreements for a new job, for example, is exactly what this could look like if you're the type that's employed. If you're not employed, I don't know, it could be just like your reputation is looking really good. People are looking upon you fondly as you golf in your retirement or that you study as a student. Now, as you go through the story, we see that Venus is going to also trine Pluto while she's opposing Neptune. This is all coming down the chute around November 3rd to the 8th, and you're going to feel this energy has a lot to do, perhaps, with something involving the theme of your earnings and your resources. Because the second house, Pluto, has been sending your money and earnings story through the ringer ever since 2008. Lots of change there, lots of transformation, lots of crisis, death, and rebirth. And as this energy picks up to the last of the ones since 2009, you're going to see it again between November 3rd to the 8th, pretty exact on the 6th. You're also having to dispense with some kind of illusion or delusion around the land, property, home, and real estate question, and this unrequited love, And honestly, are you having unrequited love in your home? Is your home bereft of love? Are you feeling that, that your career path has not allowed you to requite or fulfill some dreamy goal about your home life? Or is love an illusion, delusion for you as you appear to be looking at it squarely from the house of your work and career. And then, Venus is saying to Pluto, well, yeah, whatever. Well, let's power up some money. And Neptune is like, okay, well, I'll work with that. So, for example, you may be able to secure a home near the water, and you may be able to power up some kind of new developments in your career through women. But with Neptune and unrequited love in the fourth house, some of you have just been feeling like you can't find your home, and your search for the true home, the dreamy true home, the soulmate home, has been thwarted. I'm thinking that Venus, in her trine to Pluto, may give you the resources you need to secure that home. And Jupiter in the sixth house suggests rentals. So maybe you can find the most perfect rental home, and it's a surprise and delightful, or rent out a home so you can escape the home that you don't want to be in. These kinds of themes are very big here as well. Oh, and a pet. Jupiter in the house of pets. All this unrequited love in the home can be fulfilled by a brand new pet if you are a Sag, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And that's true between the 8th of October and November the 8th. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Well, we have a story going on here now, don't we? Of Jupiter transiting through, of Venus transiting through your ninth house of Virgo. And that's between October the 8th and November the 8th. And up here she is in touch with temples and churches and faith and religion, foreign shores and lands, third marriages, third long-term committed love story. Whether you're just living with each other or you're married, it doesn't matter. Or if you dated for 20 years but never lived together, I'd count that. Okay, like a marriage. So Venus in the house of the longer term love story is going to bring into your life a connection and to maybe a third marriage partner if you're single, a marriage with a foreigner, traveling for love in a foreign land, or a deeper spiritual connection in a sacred temple priestess way to some spiritual philosophy. And that's all possible during this transit, because Venus is going to make positive aspects to both Uranus and Jupiter. First, Jupiter October 18th to the 25th, and Uranus October 27th to November 2nd. It's all about that sexual and romantic love. And a lot of you are really looking at unexpected positive developments here, bounty and prosperity. But because lotteries or money luck stories come, winning money in the fifth house, Jupiter Uranus is definitely at the lottery win kaboom energy. And Venus is a foreign land. So, you could play a lottery in a foreign country or win money from a foreigner, or foreign luck and money stories are coming to you. And Venus up here can also look like your desire to find a path of devotional love, because the sacred flame of devotion is being activated in the seventh house by Venus early in the storyline around October 12th to the 18th. So a sense of devotional love to another, or the other being devoted to you in a very spiritual temple-like way, can be very much a story for you this month as well. Now, when we say devotional love, that's kind of a quality called bhakti in India. So it may be a spiritual devotion to God as opposed to a person, but the devotional energies are very strong for you in the beginning of October. Righty, so we got some of those fifth house stories going. Oh yeah, pregnancy. Well, if you're Capricorn and you got kids, then you could find out, surprise, I'm going to be a grandparent with this transit, because Venus is in the house of grandchildren, Jupiter is in the house of your children, Uranus is the unexpected surprises. When we get to the end of the story, we move into the time of November 3rd to the 6th. Well, Venus will form that trine to Pluto, the last one we'll ever see in 250 years, because from Virgo, she's been doing this since 2009, can no longer continue doing that because Pluto leaves Capricorn. And so we see this powering up energy of positive power of love, the power of money. This is a wealth energy between that ninth house, which is a Lakshmi house and a luck house, and you being Pluto, the one with the power. So we see some money luck themes in a broad grand trine between 9 and 5 and 1 as well. So you're coming into some powerful money stories, positive money from foreigners, money opportunities from people in foreign shores, and again, the possibility of winning money. Pluto is helping you go very deep and powerfully engage a kind of a temple priestess in your spiritual path at this point. Maybe starting to start lighting the incense, or having morning meditations or devotions or sun salutations at dawn or something like that to up-level your connection to the divine. As well. The opposition to Neptune in the third house, where have you been unrequited with a sibling, unrequited with a cousin, unrequited with travel situations. You can't get, it's an echo chamber. You send something out and it bounces back to you. Echo, echo, echo. There can be some requiting of sibling stories, both younger and older in this chart, especially with the stellium in the house of the elder sibling. But also if you've been unrequited in something, unfulfilled in something to do with neighbors, neighborhood, online platforms and stuff like that, if that's a part of your world, Capricorn, or unrequited results from a project of writing, Venus is going to bring you the opposite result here, I think, because she's talking to Pluto, and power you up. Finally, a publisher takes your book. Finally, that sibling gets in touch with you and talks to you about legal matters. I mean, making stuff up because, the ninth house is legal matters. This is really good for powering up positive, successful results in court and legal matters as well, and especially between November 3rd and November 6th. Aquarius, by the way, are you in the live premiere? You're hanging in there with Lori, who's got a bit of a hangover. If you are, then please hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell for notifications. Please share this video if you like it. Okay, I'm one of you guys, Aquarius. I'm Aquarius rising. Aquarius rising. What we've got going on here, Sun and Moon secondarily, we've got Venus October the 7th to the October the 8th to November the 8th, traveling through the sign of Virgo. It's our chunky money house. Now, Venus is a goddess of money, and we don't mind when she travels through our 8th house because she brings good things. So we could up level in our taxes, our insurances. I'm going to be talking to a tax accountant probably then. Things to do with our way of partnering with others, especially with Juno tailing in after her. So contracts, apartments, partnerships and agreements that can bring some positive developments in your chunky money narratives. And that can be investments. That can be your 401k, that can be money that you share with a partner, business partner, in this case, even marriage partner, because of Juno coming right behind Venus here. That's Juno. She looks like a flower. Okay. And finally, the other thing I'd say about this, sorry about the sound, is that you may have to make some devotional energies early in the month, October 12th to the 18th, to your work in order to devote yourself more acutely to some success you wish to achieve, and you will find some results, and it may pay off in your finances. Well, because of the trine to Jupiter in the house of your home, property, and real estate, and Uranus as well, first the trine to Jupiter, October 18th to the 25th, and then the trine to Uranus, October 27th to November 2nd. These are delightful, bounteous, prosperous surprises and excitement that's happening in the house of you, where you work, where you live, at home, what you do at home, not where you work, what you do at home. I work at home. What you do in your home, what you do in your home, teaching in home, learning in home, Jupiter, inventing in the home, Uranus, doing internet in the home. But it's also just the home and the property, especially if your floating IC is here. And so there could be some exciting developments around your property and your home that's going to bring some prosperity. And certainly anytime Venus is talking to Jupiter and Jupiter's retrograding, a property from the past, legacy wealth from the past, money that you should have had from the past, or money that could come to you from the past, may be coming through. Jupiter in the 4th house can bring inheritance monies, okay? And it could definitely be a surprise because of Uranus. Like, did somebody not do the accounting properly on a bit of family money coming through? Now, possibly some of this involves also money from a partner, a spouse type partner as well. And that's because of where the sun is sitting at the time of all of this action. So, you might find out that your marriage partner or your former partner or your the way this thing settled out didn't work. You weren't getting all the money, and you get some more money. So some money stories are looking good for you. Loans and paying off loans and debts can be really, really good for you. Taxes can look really good for you in bounteous ways. Now, if you want to buy a house or sell a house and that's something you're able to do, this is going to support that when Venus is moving through the 8th house. But she's very sensible and practical, and she's very resourceful as well. So it's nothing like, it's all very grounded. Now, Venus will come into that trine to Pluto, the last one for 250 years or so. And that's a 12th house trine. 8th house, 12th house, 4th house energies are moksha, spiritual liberation houses. And for some of you, if that's a part of the path, this can bring a profound deepening of the higher love, deeper love, powerful love energies of divine recognition and revelation in the story, especially since Venus rules your house of God. If not, then you may be finding that there's some financial empowerment coming up in the sky that's really sweet for you between November 3rd and the 8th, as Venus trines Pluto in the house of revenue generated from foreign countries, foreign lands, and foreign shores. And Pluto in this part of the chart can also indicate money coming from somebody who's in a hospital setting, I just had to say that, and that would be more bequeathment style monies. Also, November 3rd to the 6th, Venus is squaring off with the unrequited love story or the unrequited results, the echo chamber. You have high hopes about your money. You have, visions and fantasies about your money since 2011, the earnings and how to make that money and how to generate those resources for yourself. And you may have been dealing with addictions, by the way. This is great for squaring off against an addiction. But the echo chamber thing of Neptune here is coming to a close, because Venus is squaring off with Pluto's help and creating a wedge that supports the end of some kind of echo chamber in the earnings and resources part of your sky. Even if it's investments that never paid off. I mean, 2008 to now, I had so much money in and out of the stock market. And honestly, at the end of the day, I either broke even or lost money. I'm Aquarius rising. So if that's been an unrequited story for you, that could be turning around as well. And this is a new story of greater wealth and power. Look for foreigners, foreign lands, foreign shores to be a generator of great power. I'm not kidding you guys. I was just talking to my girlfriend the other day. I'm like, I think I'm going to move to the US, get my citizenship there, my soulmate James, and incorporate in Delaware or Wyoming, one of those places where the tax rate is stupidly low, because I'm going to pay almost 48% in taxes in Canada on my income this year. And I'm just not down for it. I'm like, really? So that would be an example of Pluto in the house of foreign shores. And in India, that's you relocate to the foreign shore with things going on in the 12th house. And a lot of you know that I spent 20 years in the US. My kids were born there. So, me going back to the United States, I'm not too worried about that. I would let's make money instead of pay the government a ton of money for a healthcare service that doesn't even work in my country anymore, for example. That's my rant. Anything else I'd say to you as Aquarius, because I know you get mad when I do everything about me. Saturn is moving through your second house, and it's going to make money for you over the next 3 years. Don't worry about it. You're going to be fine, because Saturn is going to give you the perseverance, diligence, and structures to fortify your finances, because he's the Lord of your sign and he does good things for you there. But at this point, you're having some kind of financial echo chamber breakthrough, and your money story is really picking up in a positive way, November 3rd to the 6th, or by things that you do for your finances in that window of time. And then lastly, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising sign. This is a nice story for you. I really like this. This is what happens when you get Venus going through your 7th house. It is good for your love stories, your marriage stories, and your clients, audience, and marketplace stories. All of these are superiorly activated for you. Even with Venus in her detriment, she's still the goddess of love in a relating house. And Juno's trending in after her. So it's about committed love, making commitments, making vows, making sacrifices even for love. But your partner may be committing, or you may be committing to them. So there's a vibe here between the 8th of October and the 8th of November around fortifying levels of commitment in love. Now, contracts and business agreements are prosperous, can also come to your way during this time, especially with the sacred flame of devotion in the 5th house of entrepreneurial consulting things. And some of you, Pisces, will begin to look at contractual consulting or possibilities October the 12th to the 18th that lend itself to greater financial gain in your life. Because Venus is going to trine Jupiter, and we want that. We love Venus trining Jupiter. It's luck upon luck in your 3rd house by traveling or engaging with siblings or local neighborhood things, or using the online world and going back over some old ground that was plowed before but not fully tilled. You're going to get some opportunity, and it's going to tumble out as yay me, look at this contractual agreement, opportunity, business partnership, development, or trip with my beloved that could be really opening up October 18th to the 25th, but with a surprise element October 27th to November 2nd on the heels of it. And that's that Venus-Uranus trine as well. So you're going to feel excited about travel, excited about business contracts and agreements, excited about your love story and your partner's success too, because maybe Venus is your partner, man or woman, it doesn't matter. And they're having some really good success in their 3rd house stories, their siblings, their travel, or their online world, and you're partaking thereof because Venus rules the house of shared resources in your chart. Some of the success stories might be offside of you and be happening with your partner. You have the Vestal flame of sacred devotion being sextiled by Venus in the house of sexuality and romantic love between October 12th and the 18th. You might tend a sacred flame in that part of your life, or tend a sacred flame to one of your children and really want to focus on tending a fire of support from with and about one of your kids. But also at the end of the month, Venus comes into a very powerful and last trine to Pluto. Pluto in your house of elder sibling, Pluto in your house, 11th house of good spirit, and the greater gains from your career, karmic and cosmic rewards, and some of your deepest dreams and wishes, as well as friendships. If you had Pluto going through here, you've had a lot of changes with your sibling relationships. You had a lot of changes in death, even. You had changes with friendship circles and groups. Now, what you've got going on here, and death in your earnings and your career from your career. Now what you've got going on here is Venus is trying to form a positive story with that Pluto that could bring a up-leveling of power and wealth through a friend, an ally, an elder sibling, through a group of belonging, and perhaps any agreements and contracts and arrangements you make with them, especially legally as well. You also have that opposition of Venus to the unrequited echo chamber, conjunct Neptune in the house of you. Now, if you're feeling like something in your own life is an echo chamber and you don't get what you want, it's all happening in the house of you. So it's very intimate to you. It's like, are you seeking to remove an addiction from your life? Are you seeking enlightenment and you're just yelling at God and it's like, oh, God, open the door. And it's open the door, open the door, open the door. There's something going on, or unrequited enlightenment, Neptune, or unrequited Neptune echo, unrequited echo chamber, unrequited love. Unrequited love. See, Venus and Neptune together can be very soulmate, higher love, divine, transcendent love, and they're oppositional. But maybe you're going to heal some kind of idea of a transcendent kind of love story with a practical edge, Venus and Virgo. And maybe you're going to look at this time frame of November 3rd to the 8th when this is happening as healing something within yourself, in which you felt like all your efforts have been landing in the land of the echoes. And Saturn is helping you see the world through the eyes of realism. And he's a part of the narrative. As you see, he's at 0 degrees of Pisces on November 4th. That's the day he's stationing direct. I just happen to have the chart set up for November. And he's really going to help you power forward. Anything else I'd say for you guys? Don't do everything by yourself here, because Pluto is powerful allies, powerful benefactors, supporting things that you wish to achieve in a whole sign sextile to Neptune. And this feeling of, leaning on that elder sibling, brother, sister, or someone who acts like that. You can lean on somebody else and you can make some significant headway if you are just willing to, I wouldn't say ask for what you want per se. I'd say, with Jupiter, your Lord in the 3rd house, do what's necessary in terms of communication with a powerful ally to get what you need and want in your life during this end of the story, November 3rd to the 8th. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. I am now going to, book a massage or something and chill out in a foot massage. I was going to do another video today. It's already after 3 in the afternoon. I don't think I can do it. I'm just going to do foot massage instead. Have a wonderful day. Hopefully this is coming to you on Venus Day, Friday. I'm recording Monday, October 2nd. I'm probably putting it on a Friday to honor Venus. And thanks for being a part of my crew, my channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, the bell for notifications, my description box for everything I offer. I'm sorry I don't have any readings available right now. Unfortunately, I'm booked out all the way to the end of the year. I'm opening up limited spots mostly in January. There's a couple of waiting lists, my general public waiting list, my client waiting list, my Patreon waiting list. Patreon gets first dibs, clients get second, and general public gets third. So try to get one of my lists so that when I release the spots, you'll get one, because I usually fill up in 24 hours. All right, take care, everyone. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.